Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the Book It community and around the world. The morning after is officially back. I missed you guys as always. I'm sorry we didn't have a Friday episode, but guess what? We dropped the Trezarian White interview. I hope everybody watched it. If you haven't watched it, you can go watch it now on the Book It Sports YouTube channel, okay? We interviewed a bucket getter, and it's a name that you're going to hear in the NCAA tournament in late March. I promise you. He goes by Trezarian White, and he's a goddamn bucket. So if you haven't watched the interview, go watch the interview. All right? Book It Sports YouTube. Welcome back to the morning after. We are live sweating. Did we just get a 2-point goal for the Cannons? Because that'd be huge for the boys. Another one. Oh, we are live sweating the PLL Champ Series Finals right now. We got a Water Dogs -3 ticket, which looks like it's already moose. We got an over 7.5 2-point goals. I think we just got one. That's huge. We love to see that. And we also sneaked the over right before we got on. So we're going to sweat that together. Make sure if you haven't already bet it, you can still bet it now live, I'm sure, on DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever you want. Listen, guys, what a weekend. We got Nick in studio today. Josh is out of stew. JJ's in the kitchen. What a weekend we had. We had the NBA All-Star weekend. The Providence Friars are back, officially projected to be an 11 seed in March. Don't let the Friars get in the tournament. Don't let the Friars get in the tournament because they will bust your bracket. Don't let us get in the tournament. We looked great against DePaul. Listen, every time I go out in New York, I feel like I lose years off my life. I don't know if anyone else has ever been out in New York or if you've ever taken a weekend to go to the city, but every time I go to New York, I lose years off my life. You know, you stay up till 4 a.m. and then you got to be up early for a brunch or a breakfast, and then the mimosas start hitting, and all of a sudden, you've been drunk for 72 hours, and the flight home feels like a medieval torture device. I don't know if anyone else feels like that, but I feel as though I lost a couple years off my life this weekend. But it was fun. We celebrated the birthday, which is tomorrow. The Water Dogs officially down 3. That's fucking moose shit. And it looks like Michael Sowers still hurt, which is not good. Might have been a rat shit wager. Might have been a rat shit wager and another great save. Listen, guys, here's the thing. Went to New York for my birthday, which is tomorrow. Celebrated with the lady. It was great. She is the best. We had a great weekend. So much fun. Went out with some friends in New York. What a time. That's why there was minimal content. But guess what? We're coming back today. We got full platters. We got PLL on right now. And it looks like I'm starting my day in moose shit because the Water Dogs are already down 3. Nick, in studio, how was your weekend, buddy?
My weekend was fantastic. Had a little relaxing one. Needed a relaxing weekend after that Vegas trip.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I am on fumes. We went from Vegas to New York. If there's 2 cities that you shouldn't hit on back-to-backs, it's those 2.
You need to have like when you go to Vegas, you need like 48 hours max in that town before you're in there and out of there.
Dude.
And we spent too much time there.
Far too much time. 5 days. And that is way too much. Water Dogs officially down 4. Here we go.
Yeah, and I'll have the score here in chat up on the screen in a second.
That is a moose shit. But yeah, those are just 2 cities. I feel like I don't know what chat is saying, but that is 2 cities back to back you shouldn't hit for your health. But I did it because I'm a soldier and I have a warrior spirit. And that's how we get one the hard way.
How are you going to celebrate your birthday tomorrow?
We actually have reservations at Nobu.
Oh.
My girlfriend got us a reservation at Nobu. Some of you are asking, how could you possibly afford a reservation at Nobu when the bets aren't hitting? Guess what the bets were hitting? I had a legacy weekend this weekend on the hardwood. The wood was hard. We also smacked some PLL bets. Crabs undefeated in the Champ Series thus far. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. If you don't know, now you know. Crabs bets. I'm pretty sure he was 7-0 yesterday on PLL bets over the weekend. I mean, that is, and he was live boots on ground. And there's nothing better than hitting your bets live. I mean, literally nothing better than hitting your bets live. So shout out Krabs. He's on an all-time heater with the PLL.
He's kind of sharp. Lauren's giving me shit in chat. Says Pat Mahomes in the stew? ?
Wow. I mean, come on.
I get Pat Mahomes. I get Kermit the Frog.
That's your best friend.
It all.
It's your best friend. That's horrible. That's horrible. That's a horrible vibe to start off with. But as I was saying, don't let the Friars make it to March. That's all I'm saying. All right. I just want it said again because I feel like people are sitting there sleeping on the Friars. We might have figured out how to win games without Bryce Hopkins, and we might have figured out how to be an elite program without Bryce Hopkins. and his name is Devin Carter, and he's the best player in the goddamn country. So tune the fuck in. I watched a little bit of the All-Star game, and I'll say this: they should just cancel the whole weekend. It is the biggest waste of time of all time. I'll be honest. When I was little, the All-Star game meant something. I used to buy Allen Iverson's jersey every single year he was in it. It's a fucking waste of time.
Awful.
No one gives a rat's ass that you guys can score 400 points. To me, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to watch you walk across half court and jock from the logo just for fun. Like everyone was like, Tyrese Halliburton did the white chocolate pass. He really didn't. He threw it off his elbow, and it took 4 bounces to get to Damian Lillard. That was like the most pathetic attempt at the white chocolate behind the back elbow pass. Like, we're just gassing up shit. That Karl Anthony Towns had 50 points. Who gives a fuck? And by the way, the better team lost.
Yeah.
There was a video that's going to go down in history that I'm sure my kids are going to ask about of the Western All-Star team. That might have been the greatest assemblance of basketball players in one room, maybe in the history of the NBA in terms of like current talent. And they lost by almost 100 points. Like, why do we even have the weekend? Like, it is a waste of fucking time. Anthony Edwards was like, listen, we take it as a break, like yada, yada, yada. And then I see other people being like, yeah, well, why would they try if everyone else gets to go to Cabo for a weekend? Because it should be a goal to make All-Star weekend. Being an All-Star should fucking matter. You got Larry Bird pregame being like, I just hope it's a competitive game this year. Like, the players all don't care. They want like a break. And I get it. That's a lot of basketball. But it should be a goal to be an all-star because you get to compete against the best with the best. Like, that should theoretically be the greatest game in the NBA.
Mm.
Like, you should want to get one for the Eastern Conference. You should want to get one for the Western Conference. You should want to beat that Western Conference team in like a close game. Like, it is a waste of time.
Do you think they should go back to or I don't know if they ever went to this format, but do it where winner of the All-Star game gets home court advantage?
Yeah, it should, like, whatever they can do to make the best players want to play the game of basketball against the other best players, they should do. Because back in the day, they didn't have any incentive. It didn't matter. It was just like it mattered to win the game. Like, I used to watch All-Star games and they were fucking awesome. Like, it was, I'm not even kidding, the single biggest waste of 5 minutes I've ever watched it. I turned on the TV, I watched Dame Lillard take 4 half-court shots. I watched Luka pull from like his own foul line. And then I watched like 3 dunks and I was like, I'm good. Like, this is the biggest waste of time in mind. Like, it's not even bad. It's just, they try harder in off-season workouts at the Y against like normal college kids than they do in a fucking all-star game. Like, it's such a waste of time.
What did you think of the skills competition?
I thought that was good. I thought that was fun. Steph Curry was air. I mean, I think he won by what, 2?
Yeah, Sabrina tied the record.
Yeah.
Or the 3-point challenge with 26, which is what everyone else had. Then he got 29.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I liked it though. Like, what a great idea. Like, that was a great idea.
That was like the highlight, I feel like.
Like, they should do more crossover stuff like that. Like, that was definitely the highlight of the weekend, was watching those two compete against each other.
Jaylen Brown in the dunk competition.
What a great dunk competition. I feel like everyone was shitting on it because, yeah, I thought I enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of electric. Like, I feel like we've gotten to the point now where it's like we just take the dunks for granted. There were some pretty fucking crazy dunks, and I feel like we just are like moving on as a, like, I don't hate that there's G League guys in it. Like, I think it's funny.
That was awesome.
I think it's funny that McClung gets like wheeled out to win the dunk competition, and then we just send him back to the G League. Like,
Twitter was great with that.
Yeah, I mean, so funny. But I thought the dunk competition was okay. Like, I enjoyed it. I thought Toppin did a great job. Like, there wasn't anything about the dunk competition that made me want to turn the TV off. The All-Star game, genuinely, I wanted to turn the TV off. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I agree with that.
It doesn't fucking matter. Like, the fact that the East won that game is absurd when you look at those rosters on paper. Like, Paolo Banchero was a starter for the, like, are we fucking around right now?
That was not
Are we
great.
fucking around?
I do think, though, the dunk competition could still have been a little bit better. I mean, we were blessed. Everyone was throwing up highlights of old dunk competitions back when it was like Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, just in probably the greatest dunk competition of all time.
Definitely. Like, looking back now.
It's just like I feel like there's better players, and of course they got to agree to do the dunk competition, but I feel like there's better guys than Jaylen Brown, who I don't think anyone would classify as
he's not
as a dunker.
No, he's not a
shooter. So
yeah,
there's somebody better you could have gotten other than Jaylen Brown, and not the officials, but the scores were getting a little flack for for how they were grading the guys too.
Dude, like I just feel, and I know we talked about it like a couple episodes ago. The Water Dogs are down 4. What the fuck is going on over here to my left? I got the TV right here, guys. I'm watching this game. Like, first of all, Michael Sowers being injured doesn't help anybody, but I mean, this might go down as one of my worst wagers of all time.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't even think I'm going to get this over because the Philly can't score. And another
Philly -3.
We're down 5. Here we go, Philly. That's how you fucking get one. When it comes to the finals, the minute, you know what's funny, Nick? You know what's funny?
What?
You know what's funny? Last year in the PLL championship, they weren't the Philly Water Dogs. They were just the Water Dogs. Right. I should have remembered Philly doesn't win championships. This is their first finals as a Philadelphia team. That city doesn't win fucking championships. You know what city does win championships, Nick?
Who?
Boston.
There you go.
And they're playing Boston. Oh, we got a 2-point shot. We got a 2-point shot.
10-7. There you go.
We got a 2-point shot.
Needed that.
That's how you fucking get one. But as I was saying, Boston, city of champions. Philly, city of selling when it comes to championships. Why the fuck did I take the Philly team when I could have got Boston with points? Like, this is what I'm talking about.
Is Krabs on
this is what
Philly
I'm talking
too?
about. Yeah, dude. We were texting last night.
He's sweating.
And I was told Philly was a free money line late piece, and now they're down 3. Was 5, now 3.
Hey, I mean,
ESPN 2. If you're not watching, go watch right now with the stream on. The other thing I really wanted to talk about that I feel like people aren't talking about enough is how little every other All-Star weekend matters in other sports. I'm going to be honest with you, Nick. I'm going to ask you a question. I don't want it to come off rude or like I'm an idiot. Did the NHL even have an All-Star weekend? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sure did. It was like, what, 2 weekends ago?
Feel like I blinked my eyes and I don't know if they had one.
Yeah.
Outside of the home run derby, what does baseball do?
Yeah, again, baseball used to have.
Yeah, it used to matter.
If you won.
Things used to matter in this country, and now they don't. Now they don't, dude.
Yeah.
I just want things to matter, man.
NHL doesn't matter. The NHL Winter Classic Series, I think, matters more or is more interesting and engaging than the NHL All-Star Game. Obviously, NFL Pro Bowl, no one gives a shit. It's flag football nowadays.
No one gives a fuck.
NBA, we saw what the product was. They don't care.
No.
MLB, they don't really care except for the home run derby.
Speaking of things that don't matter, I don't know if you've been seeing this trend on TikTok, but apparently Madam Web is the worst movie ever to be released.
Oh,
like Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to try to watch it this week. I don't know if I want to go to the theater. I might just try to pirate it in GTA, but I'm going to try to watch that movie and give you guys an honest review at some point during this week. But I am seeing some clips of the movie and seeing some people that I respect the opinions of on the internet when it comes to movies. And they're saying Sydney Sweeney might have put out the worst movie of all time.
I mean, are we surprised?
I just when as a country, at what point? Oh my God, is that another 2-point goal?
9.
Did we just get another 2-point goal? Did we just get another 2-point goal? I think we just got another 2-point goal. It's a 1-goal game. It's now a 2-goal game. Right as I open my fucking fat mouth. Right as I open my fat mouth. Right as I open it. The Boston Cannons score. As a country, when are we gonna come together and stop the superhero bit? That's all I want to know. When are we as a country gonna come together and stop the superhero bit? Speaking of another 2-point shot, we got another one. We got another one. We're at 4 and we need over 7.5. We got another one.
Tie ball game.
No, we only have 3 2-point shots. Botted, but we're back. We're back, guys. Guys, like I said, you backed the city of Philly in a big game. That's what I was saying. But as a country, when are we going to stop the fucking superhero movies? Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want this to come out wrong. Just because it has a goddamn comic book doesn't mean it needs a goddamn movie. And just because one movie did well doesn't mean we need 9 of them.
Why do you hate Marvel?
Because the movies suck. I'm going to be, all right. I'm going to stand on the hill. Movies suck. You know what movie was good? The DC movie about Batman with the guy from Twilight. It was called Batman.
Oh, yeah.
But what's his name? Robert Pattinson. Movies like that where it's a little real, you get some bloodshed. When I got fucking Marvel, and some guy puts on a glove and he's like, "Mm," and everyone disappears, and then they just like take his head off in the next movie, but then they're gonna reverse it because it's Marvel, and then there's this massive fight in a random field, and there's like people like, dude, dude, what are we doing?
You're getting mixed signals in chat.
Like,
here.
what are we doing? No, but I get it. Like Marvel, there's a big fan base of Marvel, and I get it. The only movies I like are Tom Holland Spider-Mans. Love those. Love those.
Tom Holland Spider-Man. Do you think he was the best Spider-Man, or were you
by far? Stan Lee said it. He said when he wrote Spider-Man,
Andrew
like seeing
Garfield?
Tom Holland's performance, he was
Yeah, but
exactly who he
Tobey
imagined
Maguire
Spider-Man
was
to be.
like, OG.
No, I mean
so
Tobey's OG. It's like the Star Wars movies,
Kirsten Dunst, right? Was OG. Is that correct?
What's up?
The OG. Yeah, pretty sure that's right.
Oh, MJ?
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about? Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I
She
don't
was the OG one.
I don't
and
know.
then I don't know.
I don't know if that's her name. It's 13-13. Did we get another 2-point shot or am I bottom?
Goals are just
Guys, we're getting close to the over.
Update the graphic.
And fucking Michael Sowers is in a goddamn sweatshirt.
Doing two things.
Michael Sowers is in a goddamn sweatshirt, and I've got the Philly -3. What are we doing, Michael?
Michael Sowers out for the game. Tough.
Oh my God, I'm in moose. We've got the over at 43.5. We've got the Water Dogs -3, and we've got over 7.5 2-point shots.
Did we say 13-13 was the score?
13-13 is the score currently. Are you sure that's her fucking name?
No.
I think Zendaya is probably the best MJ too. No, you know who's the best MJ? Emma Stone.
Yes, that was correct.
That was the best MJ. The best MJ was Emma Stone. The best Spider-Man is Tom Holland. And I won't have any more debate.
Peter was trying to muck MJ.
Are people bitching?
No. People are everyone's saying MJ's fire. You are getting mixed signals on the whether or not.
I just want some real.
Too many superhero movies. Yeah.
But you know what? And here's what I'll say. I had this debate with one of my buddies this weekend. My favorite kind of movies are Dune and Blade Runner. I fucking love those movies. Those movies smack in the mouth every time. I also love. You don't like Blade Runner?
No.
Get it fucking.
I like Dune. I like Dune though.
Wake up, Nick. Wake the fuck up if you don't like Blade Runner. Blade Runner is one of the best movies. Both. Ryan Gosling's is a little better, but both. I will say this though. Something I was talking to my girlfriend about 2 months ago. The one thing that I really, really like about Dune is that the mom and the son speak in sign language. Like they have like a little sign language.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to learn sign language when I have kids because I think in a situation where, tempers might be flaring or they might be uncomfortable, to be able to just like sign to each other and be like, everything's okay without having to like say it. You know what I mean? Like if you're ever on like a train and let's say there's like a homeless man like going crazy and like your kids are like nervous and like you don't want to speak to draw attention to you guys, but if you can just subtly just be like, hey, everything's cool. Like, I think that's the coolest thing of all time.
That is sick.
Like, I want to be able to do that with my kids, so I will be doing that.
Do you know any other languages?
I was actually in AP Spanish. But if you asked me to speak one sentence, I couldn't give it to you. Outside of Hola, me llamo Miguel, I got nothing. I got nothing. Nice. Nothing. And my funny story, my high school Spanish class, we all had to pick names. And it was so funny because like 90% of our class was our whole soccer team. So we had to like pick our Spanish names. And mine was Ronaldinho. And it was, I don't even think like Brazil, I think speaks like Portuguese, by the way. Like I think there's a sect of Brazil like that where they don't like speak, like they speak Brazilian. I don't even think they speak Spanish, if that makes sense. Like I think they speak Portuguese, like, they speak Portuguese. Yep. So I picked a Brazilian name for my Spanish class. And it was so funny whenever I'd raise my hand and the teacher would be like, Ronaldinho, and I would like answer. It was such a good bit. We had like That's Ronaldinho, awesome. Ronaldo, like we had the funniest fucking names of all time. The Water Dogs have the lead. The Water Dogs have the lead. Let's go into the half with the Water Dogs in the lead, guys. Let's go into the half with the Water Dogs in the lead.
It's fine. Just cancel Nike.
Here's the thing. My girlfriend sent me a TikTok this morning. Young Thug's lawyer just got charged for gang involvement.
Not a good look.
And Jack Mack from Barstool put out a TikTok that deep dives into her Instagram. And our boy is fucked. He's in a RICO case for gang involvement. And his lawyer just got arrested and charged with gang involvement.
He's like, doesn't she have like pictures of
Yeah.
holding a gun like on her?
Dude,
Not a good look.
she is
Look.
fucked. And if your lawyer is fucked, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, that is the one situation where, like, you want to feel good about your lawyer, like, being not a criminal. Like, if you are a criminal and you hire a lawyer, you can't hire a criminal lawyer.
Yeah.
By the transitive property, you're fucked.
Yeah, it's not.
Auto, you're going to jail. Auto, you're going to jail. Like, that is all-time bonehead move. Bonehead move from Young Thug's team. Hiring a lawyer with gang ties while you are in an active trial for gang involvement. I mean, you are fucked. Like, that's it. It's over. It's what are you to do in that spot? What are you to do in that spot?
He was never looking good from the start. But.
Like, there's actually, I don't think you could find a worse hire than when you are under arrest hiring someone else that's a criminal.
Yeah.
Like, a criminal defending a criminal is, what are we doing? I don't think you could find a worse hire. And by the way, the Bucks hired Doc Rivers. So I don't know if you could find a worse hire. Like, there might not be worse hires out there. The Jets had Adam Gase as a head coach. That might be a better hire. That might be a better hire than hiring a criminal to defend you against the law. Like, that's an SNL skit. That is, if you told me SNL did a skit about that and then it happened, I would believe it.
Yeah.
Like, if you were like, SNL did a skit about that 3 years ago. Like, what are we doing? He's never going to get out of jail. He might get more charges for having a criminal defend him. They'd be like, dude, by the transitive property, that's another 5 years because you hired a fucking criminal. Just it's the bonehead tax. Like, what are we doing, dude? All I want to see is Young Thug out of jail. And we hired a fucking criminal to defend him.
Had a better chance with Better Call Saul.
Like, actually, though, like, what are we doing, dude? What are we doing? Are they going to, like, could you imagine? They got to go get his lawyer out of jail to defend him in his trial. They're taking the same bus to the courthouse.
That's wild.
You might be on the same bus as your fucking lawyer, Young Thug. What are we doing? The Water Dogs going to the half, up 1, guys. To cover a -3, I'll tell you what you got to do. To cover a -3, you got to have the lead. We have a 1-goal lead going into the half, 15-14. That's 29 goals. We're on pace for the over. I don't know if anyone else is keeping track at home. We're on pace for the over. We're on pace for the over. And we need a couple more 2-point goals. We'll be on pace for that as well. If the Water Dogs cover, I'll go fucking crazy.
Did you have a first half bet?
I'll go fucking crazy. I did not have a first half bet. I did take Michael Sauer's first goal scorer, and he got hurt on the first play. So that was good too. Look at the kids going crazy. Guys, you can watch the game on ESPN2 if you are not currently watching the game. All right, Nick. We're at the 11:10 mark.
We're here.
Should we surf some slate?
Or
do you want to tell me what's going on in the world? Do you have anything that happened in the weekend or that you saw in the news that you want to talk about?
And we talked about the big one, which is NBA play or not playoffs, but All-Star game. I could probably find some what's in the world going on while you surf the slate a little bit. Though.
Have you ever visited New York?
I have.
Have you ever visited Trump Tower?
I have.
Have you gone to the gift shop?
I have.
It is one of the funniest things. So I was in New York, obviously, with my girlfriend, and my dad, who's a big character, he's like a funny guy. He was like, listen, I don't care how you feel about the guy, but you got to go check out the gift shop in the Trump Tower. They have everything.
They got all
from condoms to grills.
Yeah.
You could buy a condom with Trump on it, and you could buy a grill with Trump on it.
Did you see the shoes he just released?
Yeah, dude. They're disgusting. And I'll tell you what, you're going to see from fucking Alabama to North Dakota, guys with beards and no teeth thinking they got drip on.
Buddy just paid $9,000 for those shoes on resale.
You have a buddy.
No. I don't have a buddy. That's like a buddy, like a guy.
If you're
spending
$9,000 on the Trump ones, you need to reevaluate your whole life. Can you pull up a photo of the shoes for the people?
Yeah.
Can you pull up a photo of the shoes for the people? Can you pull up a photo of the shoes of the people? Because I don't think people are understanding how fucking whack these shoes are. Like these shoes are gross, dude. There's nothing redeemable about these shoes. You know what though? They look like he designed them. First of all, I don't know who told him gold was in. I don't know who the fuck told him gold was in. But ever since Justin Bieber stopped wearing Supras, gold isn't in. I got news for you. The American flag out the back with a big T on it.
Not great.
Dude, the shoe is moose. Like we couldn't have come together and put together a better shoe for the guy. Who did he fucking design this? Like, what is the bit? Who wants to wear a gold shoe? But I know for a fact there's going to be some guy that lives in moose shit, Alabama, throwing these things on to go hit the local country store thinking he put them shits on.
That's saying they're fire.
Dude.
Javon said something Trent looks like Trent will wear.
Dude. Yeah, dude. These are some.
If Josh pulling up in those.
These are some Trent, book it with Trent ones that he would put on and be like, somehow find like a gold polo to wear with it and be like, dude, I have to be like, I put them shits on.
How many of these shoes were made?
Dude, I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to
I don't know.
It was a certain amount of pairs.
People are saying he put them out to be able to
Chad,
pay
help
for
me
his
out. How
lawyers.
many shoes were made?
I mean, that would be all time if he put out these shoes to pay for the lawyer fees. That would be all time. But you know what though?
1,000 shoes made.
You know what though? I'll say this. The kid moves product because they sold out. As someone who has sold merch, it's hard to move some product. The kid moves product.
Hey, those Mikey Overs.
If he can sell out a sneaker. Like, I don't care who you are. If you can move merch, you can move. That's the more impressive feat. Let's talk about that he sold out the
1,000 pairs for $399 a pair.
That $399 though.
And then one
$400
resold. A Russian CEO bought one this morning, a pair of them for $9,000.
Wow, it being a Russian CEO is like the fucking cherry on top. I mean, that is, you literally can't write that any better. That it's a Russian CEO. God, the left is gonna be in moose. I tell you what. I don't know if you're aware, but I just got a message that wasn't Young Thug's only lawyer. I don't think I know how the criminal system works. I'll be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I thought you got one.
No.
Okay. No, but still, terrible look for the cabinet of lawyers he has for one to be criminal. That's like that game where you guess who? What's it called?
One on the team. Yeah.
What do you know what I'm talking about when you put down the tiles?
It's called Guess Who.
Is it called Guess Who?
Yeah.
That's like a game of Guess Who. He's got 4 lawyers. One just got put face down. I'll tell you what, that is still a bad look. And I still hold my same sentiment. She might have to be on the same bus as him.
Yeah. Could be.
I didn't know you were allowed multiple lawyers. How many can you have? Could you have?
Shit, I don't know the legal system like that.
9? Could you?
We're in sports betting, Mikey. This is why I went in this industry, so I don't have to learn these.
Yeah, let's be honest. If you guys thought I was going to fucking know that you could have more than one lawyer, I thought it was you either defend yourself or you get one person that sits next to you and one guy that takes notes.
I have 2 buddies that are lawyers, so I know I'm covered.
I don't think I have a single lawyer friend. I do not have one lawyer friend. That feels like something I should invest in.
You do have a friend that's a dentist, though, so.
Yeah, and I wouldn't let him miles near my mouth. Like, if you think I'm going to let my friend do my dental work, you're out of your... I feel like knowing someone that works in dentistry is the worst profession to have because I don't want him near my mouth.
Well, I was going to say, you know all the backstories about this friend and all the shit you guys have gotten into, and which is maybe why you don't want him near your mouth.
You think I want his hands in my mouth?
But it's like when I was in college, you go out and you see the girls that are like teachers, nurses, and you see them out at Friday night or Saturday night, and you're like,
I got news for
you're responsible for a bunch of like 9-year-olds the next day. Like,
hey, I got news for you, little Timmy.
Also made me curious about
Mrs. Linda was throwing ass on the floor on Friday night.
Also made me curious about what my teachers were doing.
I'll tell you what they were throwing cheeks on the dance floor. I got news for you, little Timmy. Miss Linda was just caught Saturday night throwing ass. And that's why she gave you a D on your quiz, because she was grading it hungover. Yeah. I got news for you. The amount of times that it makes sense now, we're like on a Friday or like on a Thursday or a Monday where your teacher was just not in the mood for you, and you'd be like, I don't understand why Mr. Knight is so mad. He was fucking hungover.
Oh,
dude.
when movie days were going on,
Yeah,
like,
and they would just sit in the back like this. You'd be like, dude, now that I know, it would have just been way better if they were like, yo, hand up. I'm hungover as shit, so we're not doing anything today. Instead of like, I'm getting an attitude from Mr. Knight, who I thought was my boy, but he was having a couple beers with the boys on Sunday night watching football. Probably had one too many. Now he's hung over my class on Monday, and I don't know why, because I'm 8 years old and I'm confused.
teachers got a muck too, but even be.
Yeah, I mean, dude, hey man, everyone in this country has a right.
My
to throw
teachers
some
were all
ass.
Warlock, 400 pounds. That's true. There were,
and I got news for you. They were also throwing ass. And listen, it's everyone's basic right in this country on a Friday and a Saturday to throw some ass. I'm not saying teachers can't do it. I'm not saying nurses can't do it.
Right.
It is just funny to think about now. Because I've got some friends that are also teachers and nurses and gremlins on the weekends. Gremlins on the weekends. But you know what, though? I am too. Who's not? You know, who's not is my point. Who's not? And I think it's okay. I think we should embrace that teachers have lives outside of work. I think that's okay. It was weird seeing them out in the wild when you were little and you went to the grocery store with your mom.
A little bit.
And you saw your teacher, you're like, the fuck are you doing outside the classroom? Like, what are you doing outside the classroom? You know what I mean? But it's also funny to think about now, knowing what colleges your teachers went to, and now knowing the reputations of colleges, being like,
back in my day,
you might have caught a couple things where you went to school. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Mr. Knight? With your Arizona State degree, you might have caught a couple things in college that we're not going to talk about. No, but it's great. I love it. Everyone's going to pass. All right, let's surf some slate.
Let's surf.
We got a lot of college basketball in the second half of the PLL is about to start. If you haven't tuned in yet, ESPN2, throw it on ESPN Plus. Watch it with us. We got the second half coming up. The Water Dogs are up 1. We've got the over at 43.5. We've got the Water Dogs -3. And we've got the over 7.5 2-point goals. Okay? Lock in. Listen, I know what you guys are wondering. Who's going to win this first NHL game? I'm not betting it. Sorry about it. I'm not betting it. I don't bet hockey. It's not what I do.
Ducks and Sabres, Fruity's team and Chelly's team.
Yeah, we've got an inter-house civil war right now. So we'll see who comes out on top. The Sabres are -200 though, so the odds are in Chelly's hands. Listen, college basketball. Krabs texted me, said Virginia Tech is not losing to Virginia, and Virginia Tech is a 4.5-point favorite at home against Virginia.
Sure.
That's our least favorite spread in this house. I don't know if anyone knows that. Our least favorite spread in this house
3.5
is 4. It's 3.5 now.
3.5 on FanDuel.
Oh, 4.5 on ESPN. So run over to
right.
FanDuel if you like the Hokies.
Live odds.
You like the Hokies.
ESPN, I think, only has opening line.
Okay.
Sure,
well,
when you're looking at that,
I'll take Tech with Krabs. I will take Tech with Krabs, but it might not be a tweet play.
Okay.
And by tweet play, it might not make it to the counter. But
very good.
Mentally, I will be with Krabs on his alma mater. Other than that, I do like this Howard team -8.5. I'm going to try to make a corp call to PP because I want some Howard people up for props because that feels like a game where Howard's going to beat the shit out of SC State. So I like Howard -8.5. That definitely might make it to the counter.
Nobody up on Howard.
Texas Southern versus Southern. I'll tell you what we're going to do there. I really like TSU, but I'm going to think about it because we might be interviewing the best player on Southern this week. So I don't want to be interviewing him coming off fading his team. That just feels like bad vibes in the air.
On the money line.
We could take Southern money line. We could. We might just take that over because both those teams like to score. And I feel like it's going to be
half.
That's a low total.
That's what that number's chilling at.
I don't like that total anymore. That feels like they're not going to score a lot of points, which is upsetting to me. Yeah, but this slate is fucking moose, guys. I feel like here's the thing. I've gotten a lot of DMs about this game. And let's talk about it. And I'm going to give you guys a little looking eye into how my brain works. Iowa State is +9.5 going into Houston. We've taken this Houston team a lot at short lines on the road. And they've sold us down to 8.
And half.
Holy shit. And they've sold on us quite a lot. But here's what I'm thinking, right? Houston is very hard to play in. Obviously, we got 2 top 10 teams playing against each other. I feel like you might just be comfortable saying, you know what? Iowa State makes this a game. They're ranked 10. Houston is ranked 3. Why don't we just take the points? That's a lot of points. What Vegas is telling you is that seems like a lot of points, but this Houston team might just beat the shit out of them in their own house. And we've watched this Iowa State team in multiple different spots on the road sell as favorites, sell as underdogs, come through and beat the shit out of really good teams on the road, and come through and cover big spreads on the road as well. So what do? Look at the matchups, right? I think Houston has them in the guard department, and I think Houston probably has them down low as well. So if I were to bet this game, and I think I'm going to, I would almost feel more confident taking Houston with the points, like laying the points with Houston. But there's no worse feeling than taking a heavy favorite like that. And we have not seen a lot of teams cover these big spreads this year. We've had Purdue's at minus 20s that lose outright. We've had Houston's at minus 10s that only win by 4. So why don't we just take an Iowa State team that has proved they can win on the road, proved they've covered on the road, and just take them with the points?
I like that. Minus 104. Not bad.
That's not bad at all.
It's good value.
That's not bad at all. And if you want to, you can even buy the line up to 9.5 if you want to get back up there.
Yeah.
But I feel like I might just take Iowa State. So long story short, you didn't get anything out of that because I said I'd take Houston. I said I'd take Iowa State. But I'm feeling like when I look at this game, it's going to be a tough game for Iowa State. But again, we're starting to get to the end of the season where the shit matters, right? If this was like a week 3 game where Iowa State fresh coming, these are two teams that have figured out how to play ball now, right? So you got to assume close game.
I haven't watched an ounce of college basketball.
Here we go.
My Missouri Tigers are
most shit.
Probably the worst team
most shit
in the country. So, but I like taking Iowa State here.
That means you take Houston. I'll tell you
exactly.
If Nick hasn't watched an ounce of college basketball this year, and he's telling you that Iowa State feels good with the points, I think we lay the points with Houston.
What does Chad say? Chad, we're going to say Houston's going to hit 15 threes, Javon says.
Houston's going to hit 15 threes?
They shit on teams at home.
Yeah, they do. Houston's strong at home.
Factor is what leans me to Houston.
Okay.
Trap. It's the under.
Who said that? Who said that?
Curdy Flirty.
Kick him out.
See ya.
Ban him.
Go on.
Mods, ban him. Whoever just said
Houston by 30.
The other game I want to talk about, Kansas State, Texas. You're not betting that game. Put the fucking phone down. You don't want to watch that game, and you're not betting that game. Put the fucking phone down.
It is the last game of the day, so.
Nope, it's not. NC Central Norfolk State is our plan B. Last bet of the day.
Why is this not happening? Oh, well, they start.
Do not bet that Kansas-Texas game. I fucking promise you. I bet on both teams. They're both moose shit. They both love to sell me. Do not bet that game. If you want to watch it, it'll probably be a great Big 12 showdown where they're going to beat the shit out of each other, and Texas might run them out of the gym. But I've taken Texas as a favorite at home, and I'll tell you what happens. They fucking lose. And I've taken Kansas State in sharp spots 3 times this year, and they have not covered or won a single fucking time. So don't bet the game. Don't bet the game.
Okay,
or wait till BTL and bet what they're betting on that game. Because I'm not betting that game. I won't touch that game. Okay? And I don't want you to be mad that I'm not touching that game, but I'm not touching that game. I refuse. I will not do it. Our plan B, Nick, can you find me it's already locked, the highest over on the college basketball board for today? Mm-hmm. Our plan B, NC Central, Norfolk State. Norfolk is minus 7.5 at home. I'll tell you what we're going to do. The line opened at 4.5. It's not a 7.5. You take Norfolk State plan B just in case you made a couple mistakes early in the slate. Just in case you made some mistakes that you kind of want to run back on. You take Norfolk minus 7.5 with me, and we ride, and hopefully we wake up to some units, or we wake up knowing that we tried our best to curb the mistakes we made. Okay? That's all the plan B is, man. It's not 100%. It's not 1,000%. I'm just telling you, it's something to give you a little hope as you lay your head on your pillow at night that you might wake up to you having made the right decision. That's all it is. That's all the plan B is. It's already locked, Nick. The highest over on the college basketball board is...
Grins is saying in chat, it's gross. It is gross. It's Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Let's go.
Traveling to Alabama A&M. Total 155.5.
And I'll tell you what, short spread, high over under, you take that over because it's already locked. It's the highest over on the college basketball board. Don't bitch. Don't bitch. Don't bitch. All right? You take that because it's the highest over with the short spread. And you do one of these, and then you do one of these, and you hope it hits. Okay, because guess what? You're betting on Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Alabama A&M.
Just
How
a
is
fun
that
one to
my
root
fault?
for. Just a fun one to root for.
But how is that my fault if it doesn't hit? Is what I'm saying. You know, we're betting on Pine Bluff and Alabama A&M.
Do you know the mascots of those schools? Lauren's in chat. I bet she probably does.
I'm gonna look at them right now. Arkansas Pine Bluff. It looks like an animal. It looks like a lion. I'm gonna say the Lions. That's definitely a lion. Alabama A&M. No animal on the logo. I'm gonna go with A&M. Isn't that agriculture and something?
A&M.
Isn't that A&M agriculture and mechanics?
Fuck,
Something
no,
like that.
beats
I'm
the
gonna
hell
go
out of
with
me.
the Engineers.
Okay.
Alabama A&M
A&M.
Engineers. That feels so fucking good.
Bulldog. A&M.
Wow.
What was the other one? Arkansas Pine Bluff.
I said the Lions. Who the fuck made Alabama A&M the Bulldogs?
Golden Lions.
Wow, there we go. One for two.
Hey.
One for two. One for two. One for two.
All right.
The
Golden Lions.
Bulldogs?
The Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs.
Very basic.
Is that a
If you ask
fucking
me.
bit? The Bulldogs?
It's no fryer, that's for sure.
Yeah, no fucking fryer. I'll tell you what. Texas A&M Corpus Christi also plays Northwestern State at home. I'll tell you what, if there's one thing we know about those Islanders, they own that school. So I'm also not opposed to Texas A&M Corpus Christi minus 10.5. They own Northwestern State. We've watched them play them twice. They beat the shit out of them 2 times.
Yeah,
Two times. And the one time we went was the game where the kid with one arm was on the team.
Oh, that's right.
He transferred though, but a baller. I'll tell you what, though, force him to his right, might have some problems. I'm sorry. I had to do it. I'm sorry. I had to do it. I had to do it.
Might get canceled for that one.
All right, I might get canceled. That one might be cancelable. But you know what? Kid is way better at basketball than me. You know, he's playing D1 ball. He's got everything on
Way
him.
better.
Okay? He can jump out of the gym. Jump out of the gym. I can't even jump an inch. But let's keep in mind.
What is your bird?
But let's keep in mind, an inch is a lot. Okay? Some people might be sitting there going, wow, that's not a lot. An inch is not a lot. An inch is a lot.
You were correct. It is also agricultural and mechanical.
Wow.
Good hit.
I'm going to give myself 2 for 3.
That makes up for not knowing what the lawyer shit.
Yeah, that's where you get me, guys. I'm not your lawyer guy, but if you want to know what obscure like acronyms mean in college basketball names, that's what they mean. And that's why I guessed Engineers. I feel like that was a solid fucking guess. I can lay my head on my pillow tonight knowing solid fucking guess. That's all you're getting out of me.
Dave says for 1 inch, nah, she lying to you.
I'm going to tell you right now, 1 inch is a lot. You get up to 3 inches, that might be too much. And you know what? I feel like I see this a lot, people complaining. Why don't you go ahead and watch the last 2 minutes of a sporting event and tell me that that's not a lot of time? Look me in my eyes and watch 2 minutes, the last 2 minutes of any sporting event, and tell me that that's almost too much time.
Could be.
Almost a marathon, some people are saying. All right, listen, we're at the point of the show. We get a little inspiration, a little motivation. Last episode, we talked about McCole Hardman, right? That journey that McCole Hardman took. The New York Jets gave up on him. He ends up catching the Super Bowl winning touchdown for the Kansas City Chiefs. What a journey, right? What a journey. And here's what I want to say to you guys today. I got a DM this weekend. It actually meant a lot to me. Made me really emotional. And, you know, I'm an emotional kid. I wear my emotions on my shoulders. If you've ever met me, I wear my emotions on my sleeves. I'm an emotional kid. I have no problem saying that out loud. But I got a DM from a certain man. I'm not going to say any names. That said, hey, man, I'm going through a really hard time. I feel like I'm really struggling right now. I'm sure you get a lot of DMs, but I would love if you could just respond to this and just let me know that you're here with me, because I'm going through a really hard time and I'm finding it really hard right now. And I've been watching The Morning After, and it's become a really big part of my mornings. And, you know, the end of the show is what has mattered most to me. And I responded to him, and I just want everyone to know out there that might be going through something, that might be struggling, that might be feeling like taking that step forward has been really difficult for them. I'm here for you. Okay? I got your back. I'm here for you. I know how hard it can be to wake up in the morning and do what you got to do and take one step forward. It is not lost to me how hard it is to take one step forward. And I know that a lot of people are hurting. And I know it's really hard for a lot of people right now or in the past or even in a couple of days. But I just want you to know you have people that care about you. You got people that love you. And I got your back. Okay? So if anyone ever needs some emotional support, don't be afraid to hit my DM. Okay? Because I know how hard it is. So I'm going to ask you on a Monday, starting your week off right, let's just take one step forward with me. Okay? Let's do something today that makes you happy. Let's chase something that makes you feel like you mean something. Let's chase something that matters to you today, okay? So do me a favor and just take one step forward for me today, guys, okay? I love you, every single one of you, my girlfriend especially, but let's go have a Monday. You started the week right by tuning into the morning after. We'll be back here tomorrow morning. The Water Dogs are now down 1 after being up on the entire third quarter. Lock in. We need a legacy second half. Stay right there. The stream's not going anywhere. You don't even have to turn the stream off because guess what? We got BTL coming up next. That's Behind the Lines with Javon and Krabs Bets. They're going to give you the sharp report so you know what to bet in the Texas-Kansas State game. They're going to talk about how Krabs is 7 and goddamn 0 in PLL bets. And we're going to have a Legacy Monday for you guys because we got Surgical Stream as well, I believe, coming up after BTL. So stay right there. As always, I appreciate you guys so much. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night from the morning after. And your very own Mikey Overs. Stay tuned for the platter. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow morning.